Hello everybody, it's Jen Obermeyer at Pro Organizer Studio. Welcome back to our Inspired Organizer Chat series that we are doing special this week and next week in order to celebrate the reopening of our fall enrollment for our special program at Pro Organizer Studio. So what this is it's not just a course, it's not just a community. We said yesterday in my interview with Lainey, it's sort of a lifestyle and it's sort of a sisterhood of women who in their organizing businesses from all over the United States. I have students in Europe, Australia, all over the place who have joined this like really special group. It's not just about my business model. We have so much that is involved with it. We have accountability program. We have lots and lots of additional support chats and everything that goes along with it. So if you missed my chat with Lainey yesterday, we did a quick kind of really brief overview of things that are included in this program. Lainey is one of the people who helps me support the members of this community. Today I have another very, very special guest on. It's Lisa Sharp. And Lisa, I see she's on now. I'm going to bring her on the broadcast in just a moment. Lisa is someone I'm so thrilled that I met through this online world. Lisa has been in business in Atlanta for almost 5 years, or a little bit over 5 years. She'll tell us all that in just a second. She joined our group last December, and since then she has become one of our favorite, most special contributors to our group on a daily basis. So I really wanted her to come on here today and just share in her own words a little bit about her business journey and how we have all become a part of it. So let me get Lisa on here just a moment. This will just take a second.
Hey,
hey Lisa.
Let me get myself squared here. Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for being willing to come on live video on the internet for me. I know that was not a very small request.
Nah.
Like, this is awesome. And
for
joining me
you
in the middle of your workday.
Yeah.
So, hey, I just did a really quick introduction of you, but I want you to introduce you because, yeah, Lainey said, Lisa, you're famous. Hey, Jill. Hey, Natalie. Hey, everybody that's signing on. Thank you so much for being here. So, Lisa, take it away. Tell us about you.
Hey, you guys. Like Jen said, I'm Lisa Sharp. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am the owner of Clear Calm Space Organizing and have been for 5 years. I just had my 5th anniversary last week. Which is really,
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's huge.
It is. It really is, because it's so funny. It's like we just jump in and we don't really know where it's going to take us. And time just flies by. Next thing you know, it's, here we are 5 years later. But it's been really fun. But I'm so glad I found you, because honestly, I felt like for those first 4.25 years or so, I just was like, trying this, trying that, trying this, just sort of throwing spaghetti at the wall and not really feeling like I was getting enough traction or enough consistency. And because of the program, I feel like things have gotten a lot easier.
Well, thank you for saying that. I want to ask you more questions, but let's start way back, at the very beginning, way before you met us. When you started your organizing business, because I know that a lot of the girls that are out there right now are sort of either just now finding out that this is even a real career. How long were you in that sort of research mode or planning mode where you're like, I kind of want to do this, but it doesn't really seem like it's a real business? Because that's kind of the first hurdle you have to get over,
Yeah, what in the heck is this thing? And 5 years ago, I mean, it's amazing how much this has changed just in the last couple of years, and how it's just become part of something that happens in popular culture, because of Marie Kondo, a lot of people are like, oh, that's a thing. But when I first started, I just have always sort of done this in whatever field that I have worked in before. And I think that that's true for most of us that, that end up here. It's not like an acquired skill and we're like, oh, I think I'll do this thing because I heard that this is a business. It's just something that we do naturally. It's something that we're kind of known for anyway. And so 5 years ago, I was like, well, I knew I really wanted to work for myself. And I really wanted to work my whatever I did around my kids' schedules, and that was really a high priority for me. And I knew I didn't want to do any selling or anything. And then, like selling of products.
Yeah.
And when I happened upon this field, I was like, ding. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's an easy yes. Sign me up for that thing. Like, I get to
Yeah.
go into people's houses and do what I naturally do anyway. And my favorite part of organizing is connecting with other people. That's just who I am and what I like to do. So to get to help busy women, busy families with their stuff and figure out how to make it easier that was just super, super easy for me to do. So I didn't do a ton of planning. I sort of,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, I was sort of dilly-dallying around with it. I started a blog in, I want to say around spring break of that year, and
okay.
just started writing about stuff that I was interested in and passionate about and that sort of thing. And then over the summer, I was like, I guess I should probably do this. And in August, I went on my personal Facebook page. I didn't have a business page or anything like that. I just had one little free blog on WordPress, and that I was self-administering and all that kind of stuff. And and I just went onto my Facebook page and I was just like, so here's this thing, you guys. I told my friends, I was like, this is what I want to do. Yeah. I want to start a business. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to, for a limited time, I'm going to offer sessions for $15 an hour. And I'm going to do it for 3 months. And just anybody who wants to sign up, cool. And just immediately, I got a ton of people that I was good friends with, or that I was acquaintances with, or family. And they were like, yeah, sure, $15 an hour. And that's how it started. So, yeah.
Lisa, I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, but one time you posted, like a while back, you said that when you first started, that your very first check that was for $45, and I did think that was the amount, so it must have been $15 an hour. You said your very first check for $45 that you cried when you deposited it because you couldn't believe that you had gotten paid real money to do something that you love. Do you still feel that?
Because totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So things started to develop from there, obviously. And was it really, I know you and I talked about yesterday wanting to have something that was flexible with your kids' schedules. So did you always do it part-time around their schedules, or have you played with like part-time hours, sometimes full-time hours? Like, how has that balance been for you?
Yeah. So that's actually been probably my favorite part of running my own business, is that I get to decide. So when I have run into walls and I'm, burning out, or I'm doing too many things, I'm like, okay, Lisa, you are the boss of you. That's a Laneism, right?
Yeah,
I love that. I swear I'm going to have that, like a big gold thing across one of my walls in my office. Cause it's true. Cause it's really easy to forget, cause you're doing all of the things. And then you're like, oh wait, I don't have to do this. Okay. This is why I'm working for myself. But right. It was really, really important to me. And so, I've been doing this for 5 years. So I have a 15 and a 12-year-old. So back that up 5 years, 10 and 7. Is that right? Math.
Yeah.
And it's a very different time. When kids are really little, it's all the focus on the kids, or at least it was for me. That was really important. I wanted to be at home with my kids. And then as they got a little bit older, I needed, I could work a little bit more. So I had a little tiny Etsy business before I started being a professional organizer. And that really helped me figure out how to balance this stuff. Not that there's really such a thing as balance, but more it's just trying to figure out the timing and what my family's needs were and all of that kind of stuff. So that was a really helpful experience before starting Clear Calm Space. But yeah, when they were little, I have always worked mornings. So I've always worked set my hours between 9 and 12. Sometimes I've worked 4-hour shifts, or, sessions, or sometimes I work 3-hour sessions. That's sort of changed over the course of my business. But yeah, so it's drop off the kids, go to work. And then I needed to be at home to get kids off the bus, and then need a little bit of time after a session to, be a human being and eat lunch and all of that kind of stuff. And then all the admin stuff that goes with running a business. So that's what I've done. Up until pretty recently, that's the only thing I've done. I don't work weekends. I don't work evenings. And whenever I've had clients, you know, that are call me, that are interested in working with me, I just tell them like, these are my hours, and I don't apologize, and I don't explain what I do, because it doesn't really matter. And I have found in the 5 years, I may have had 2 people say, yeah, that schedule just doesn't work for me. People make it work. Right. People make it work because they need it.
Yeah.
So
true. So tell me a little bit in your own words, because obviously I want this to be all your own words. When you found me or us, or I don't know exactly how you found us, you have to tell me if it was on YouTube or something else, but you know, you told me yesterday, and I hope you don't mind repeating this, that you had said, I'm not investing in any more stuff for my business. So tell me a little bit about like what your thought process was up to that point, and then deciding to join our group, even though you had already been in business for a while. Like, what was it that was calling to you about it?
It's such a great question. And I feel like over the years, I have been, how do I want to say this? When I first became a professional organizer, I joined NAPO. I did that for about a year. I had a membership for 2 years, but I really only went to meetings for that first year. And I got what I needed to out of being in that group. But I realized pretty quickly that they weren't, that I wanted to do things differently. And my background is I used to be a social worker, and I was a librarian at different points of my life. So I used to joke all the time about like going to like librarians meetings was like, oh my God. Like, no offense to any librarians out there. But yeah, it's like there's just this sort of mentality that I recognized immediately when I would go to those NAPO meetings. It was just like, I need people that are thinking outside of the box. I need to be around other people that are going to buck the industry standard, that are going to be doing things that feel good to them. That's not just because that's the way they should do it. And so, you know, I just, that wasn't my thing. So then I kind of wandered around in the forest for a while, for a couple of years, and I had different coaches. I hired some other professional organizers to help me. And then I just totally went outside of our field. So I worked with other just business coaches that had they knew nothing about our industry, which was super helpful. Getting to your question, there was like, so I dipped my toe in a lot of different pools of water, like seeing if this works. And I got to the point where I was like, okay, I just need to be on my own. I just need to sort of like stop buying other people's programs and stop sort of, you know, just getting quiet and listening to myself and what I needed to do. And so I put a moratorium. Yeah. Are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I breaking up?
Just a little bit. It's not bad.
Okay. So I decided that I wasn't going to buy any more programs, that I was just going to just sort of hang out and do my own thing for a while. And then I found you. And I think actually I found you on YouTube, because YouTube is how I've run a business for 5 years. It's like, if I don't know how to do it, I just go onto YouTube, or I go, you know, I Google everything. But yeah, I found you and was like, oh, this is outside of the box. This is a different way of doing things. And I saw Lainey, I saw like an interview that you guys had done together, or I don't remember what, I watched a million videos. I can't remember all of them, but Lainey was talking about being in business for a long time and just feeling sort of stuck, and like she wasn't really getting the traction that she wanted or the consistency that she wanted, and that the program really helped her. And to hear somebody else who had been in the industry for a really long time to say that was like, oh, I might need to break this moratorium. So when I saw the program come up, it was a total no-brainer. And I have spent so much freaking money over the years, like I said before. And this was just like I immediately saw the value that you were offering, and, you know, just the sheer volume of amazing free content that you gave. I was like, yeah, sign me up for whatever she's doing. So yeah, that was it. And I was just like, I just stopped everything else that I was doing. And I joined it was right after Thanksgiving last year. And all of December, that's all I did. I just sat on my little, and I'm in my office. I was sitting on my couch, working, and I just worked my way through the program. And by January, I was seeing it just started totally changing my business. So yeah.
So do you mind sharing, and I hope that people can hear me. They're saying that our video might be frozen, or, oh, my video might be frozen. Hopefully my voice is still coming through. That's the important part.
Yeah, I can.
Do you mind sharing? Okay, so people know, I mean, they can go on, I mean, the price of the program is $850 currently for like just the single payment. We have a couple of different payment plans. I know that when people are starting out, especially that feels like a big investment, but would you speak a little bit to other things that you had invested in and how that compared with the results that you got in January and the rest of the year?
Oh, it's crazy pants. Okay, so like this, I have taken marketing courses. I've taken a ton of courses on how to build a website, on how to do the social marketing, and how to streamline your business, all this stuff. And so I knew a fair amount before I joined the course. But if all I kept thinking when I saw the program and everything that was laid out, I was like, I have spent so many hours of my life and so much money on all of these other things, and everything here is just in one place, and it's specifically for our industry. It's not generic. It's not. Are you there, Jen?
Yeah.
Can
you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. You're frozen. You're frozen to me too. Although it's a really nice frozen face.
Oh, good.
So, and I can't see any of the comments. So okay. Let me know if I'm talking to nobody.
You're good.
When I saw that everything was in one place, that it was geared towards our specific industry, and that it was still really very much about us and like, what do we want to bring to our business? How do we want to, what is our voice like? It's not just sort of this whole cookie cutter approach, but it does walk you through step by step, but you do the individual work. So it's always going to sound and look and feel like you, but it just is this formula to plug yourself into and then just sort of take it and run. So, I mean, the stuff that I got done in December, granted, I had like, I think one client, if that, maybe that month. It was a very slow month. So I had a lot of time to do it, but I also knew what was in front of me and the value of that. And it is hard to know, like when especially if you're first starting out, like, again, it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall, right? You don't really know like what's going to work for you. And, you just don't know what your return on investment is going to be. But for me, I think this course is just $800 and whatever to get your everything set up and running, and a way to bring in a consistent income is like, are you kidding me?
So tell me this, if you would have had this from the beginning, what do you think would have been different for you? Not even talking about having the group of women, like just having the information in an order that makes sense. Obviously you said you would have saved a lot of money and time. Yeah. What do you think is different about your confidence, your ideas about how to approach clients and helping them get what they need? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because so much of it when you're beginning, if you don't have, like Lainey said this yesterday, it was like, we don't really have colleagues. We don't go to a workplace. We don't have people to sort of bounce ideas off of people and to practice with. And so like, to not have any of that, and also not have a program like this, so that you're just going out cold into the world trying to figure this out. And it's really scary. And it's very easy to get your confidence knocked, because it's not all going to work. And there's just a lot of trial and error. And this just removes so much of that. And when you remove all of those sort of pitfalls, you know, you're still going to have failure. You're still going to have things not work, whatever. That's just the name of the game. But this shortcuts you through so much of that. And I think that's a massive confidence boost. Like to be able to talk about your industry, talk about why you're charging X dollars to do whatever it is that you're doing, and to not bat an eye and totally own your worth. You know, I mean, that's so much a part of the program. That's so much a part of the women in the group, you know, just having other people that like get it. And so that the more that you feel understood, the more that you get this sort of practice and you have some sort of scripts and ideas of how to approach those difficult conversations with clients, the more confident you'll be. And then you just put it out there, you know, the more confident you are in yourself and your abilities translates to more money, basically, because people will buy it because they believe you, because you believe it, you know, and that's the trick. You have to believe it yourself. You have to know what you're worth and what you're capable of doing. And I think women in general really sell ourselves short. I think we're just sort of like, oh, it's easy for me. Oh, it's not that hard. Let me just help you. I'll just do this. It's not that big of a deal. And the things that come really easily to us don't necessarily come easily to everybody else. And that's worth a lot. You know, we're not all walking around fixing our own cars and cutting our own hair and doing our own taxes. You know, it's just,
So tell me, what do you love? I mean, okay, because, you know, when people join, they don't have to participate in the group. That's sort of like an added bonus that is there all the time. It's daily. Now, you do contribute on a daily basis, and we're so happy that you do, because you're hilarious. You're motivating. You're inspiring. You're not afraid to tell some of the scary stories, you know. What do you love most about the group? Because you contribute a lot to the group, but what do you get out of it that like you felt like you were missing because you didn't have your people before?
Oh man, it's so helpful. It's so helpful to just know that other people are there and other people get it, and that other people are having the same struggles. And it's not just all sunshine and roses and unicorns, and it's not all perfect. And it's a lot of work. And even when you've been doing this for a long time, you still have doubts. You still have crappy months. You still question yourself. You still might run into having the really hard client that you're not exactly sure how to deal with, even though you've had a lot of experience. So for me, being able to go and just sort of let my hair down and, you know, just have some fun and blow off some steam and tell some really gory stories. I had a really gory story a couple of months ago. I'm not. You're gonna have to join the course if you want to know the story.
That's right.
And I, you know, some of us have had a similar experience in there. But anyway, being able to like talk about this stuff is so valuable for me. And, you know, my husband, God bless him, he's been really supportive and he's been through all of this with me. But I also know like it's important to separate your relationships with your business, because you need to have business relationships. You need to have people in your corner that get what you're doing, they get why you're doing it, they understand that you just need nice to be able to have a place to go do that isn't my living room. You know, having my kids overhear what I'm talking about. So yeah, I love the group.
No, I totally,
it's very helpful to me.
Thank you so much for saying all that. I think that what's really cool is that a lot of us have not only the same, like, I was saying this to Lenny yesterday, we don't only have the same business struggles, we have the same spouse struggles and kids struggles and like life struggles, because we're all just so similar. And I think we all like want so much to do good and to do the right thing. And, you know, so we have a lot of just things in common. It definitely makes it feel like it's your tribe. Very intimate. Totally.
Yeah. Because, you know, there's a certain personality type, I think, that is drawn to this type of work. You know, of course, that doesn't make us all carbon copies of one another, but we have a lot of similarities and some of our slightly idiosyncratic behavior, possibly, that our kids might think. You know, it's nice to be hanging out with other women that are like, yeah, me too. I totally, guilty or proud of that or whatever, you know, that makes us unique. But to have other people that get it, and that you don't have to like explain yourself to. Like, you know, highly sensitive person. That was one of the things that Lainey brought up a while back. And that's been a really helpful thing, because a lot of the people, myself included, that are in the group consider themselves to be HSP, and like having sort of an understanding of what that means. And it doesn't mean that you have to be that in order to be in the group. This is just one example, but there's, you know, to see other people that are drawn to this work that might have some of those characteristics, and to know like, oh, I'm not completely nuts. And this is actually a real asset. This is an asset to my business. You know, this thing that I might have been struggling with for part of my life is actually a really big gift. So just being able to talk about that sort of stuff it's very affirming.
Yes. Okay. What would you say to someone who is considering this program and, like you, has been in business for a while, maybe has already bought other courses? I mean, other business courses about organizing is kind of like, I don't really know if this is one more thing that I'm going to get into and not need. Like, how would you encourage them, or what would you say that what to you, because you have experienced some of those other offerings, like being in NAPO for a while and doing some other things, like what is really different about this for them?
I think that it is highly actionable. I found that in some of the other programs, and even some of the coaching that I did with other professional organizers, I always felt a little bit like, yeah, but what am I supposed to do? Like, I get what you're saying. Like, go market yourself. Okay, what does that translate to? Yeah. What do I need to do on Monday? What do I need to do on Tuesday? You know, and like that, just having that laid out, like this is what you should do, and this is the order in which you're going to get the best return on your investment in terms of time and money in building your business. Like, that is incredibly valuable, and I haven't seen that a lot in other places. Like this course has nothing really to do with organizing. It's not like, it's assumed that if you're joining, you already know how to do this, or you're going to go learn that through your own trial and error or somewhere else. That this is really like the nuts and bolts. This is how you build a business. This is how you sell yourself. This is how you do your marketing. Sell yourself. That sounds probably a better phrase for that. Then this
well,
is
it's
how
true that if you know how to sell yourself, you can't keep bringing in money. You don't have a business anymore. So yeah, I think having the confidence to say, you know, all right, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, you're right. But, you know, so it breaks it all down in a really actionable way. So and if you're stuck on something, you know, you can ask in the group. You can hire one of the people that's in the group that does that particular thing, like Hunter, I've hired Hunter quite a few times now. For doing like Facebook ads, she's been helping me with some strategy stuff, some copy, you know, things that like I knew how to do, but again, like I've hired people that are outside of the industry to help me with those things at various points in my business. But to have somebody who actually knows the guts of the business, what are the words, what are the selling words that people are looking for, all of that kind of like just really detailed, specific stuff that is that we need in our business, is so much more helpful than just sort of hiring anybody to help you with your social media, or with, you know, figuring out how to sell on your website or your copy or whatever. And
right.
So that's what I just absolutely loved about it. And, you know, just like being able to look at like, what do I need to do in order to work on this module? And then say like, okay, I'm going to plug this into my admin day and, you know, work on this thing. And so it's very task specific, but it's your own stuff. It's your own voice. It's your own spin. So it's not just like you do everything like everybody else. It's just do these things in this order. And that to me was priceless, because it was so frustrating, because I'm like, I'm an organizer. I organize other people for a living. Why can I not organize my own business, right? Like, why is this so hard? And because organizing is very different from organizing a business. They're just completely different animals. And I think I wasted a lot of time feeling like less than, like I should be able to figure this out, but it's not that intuitive. It's not that simple. And there are so many different areas that we need to be working on. And it feels like we need to be working on them simultaneously. And, you know, you're like, you know, after a while, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to give up and just, you know, hang out on Facebook for the rest of the day because I just can't eat. So, not that doesn't still happen sometimes, you know, but
very relatable. Yeah.
But there, you know, now I'm like, if I get off track, or if I'm just feeling like I just can't, you know, now I know it's just like step away, get on the phone with my accountability partner, you know, help.
Yeah.
Or just, you know, have a Netflix day and, you know, just say, that's all right. I work for myself. I can do this, you know, occasionally, and then come back to it and come back and re-engage with the game plan. And it really, that's priceless, because it doesn't end up in, you know, being like one day off becomes 2 days off, becomes 3 days off, or you're going down some rabbit hole that really is not going to net you jack, you know, like you need to be like way over here. Like, you think that's super important. It's not. Come back over here, do this thing, and then you're going to start seeing results. And that's priceless.
Yeah. Okay, I have 2 more really specific questions for you. I'm not promising I can't think of more, but going back to something you said a second ago, you talked about kind of plugging your personality and your strengths and your background into this system. And so you said, therefore, you're not just doing what everybody else is doing. You remember when you said that? So it's not a cookie cutter. Like, we're not giving you like an exact prescription of how to act and how to organize and how to be in your business, because everybody, my personal philosophy is everybody has different strengths and different philosophies, and that's all good. That's why it's called inspired organizer, not, you know, franchise organizer. So would you speak to someone out there who, like you, maybe like you live in Atlanta? That's a great place to be because there's tons of people. But there are other people that are in the course now. I mean, it's growing, that are in Atlanta. So does it, you know, how do you feel about, you know, applying the information that you learn in this course, but being confident that what you're doing is different than even the other Atlanta girls in the group?
Yeah. Well,
does that make sense?
Oh, totally. Because, you know, if you're just looking at this from the outside, it would feel like why on earth would you want to be sharing this sort of information with your competition and that sort of thing? But the Inspired Organizer is really not about that, because first of all, we're really a very, very supportive, collaborative group who, you know, it's like, but the bottom line for me, and I think for you also, is like, nobody can do you. You do you. Like, like nobody could copy what I do. Nobody could do, I mean, they could like steal my entire website and put it up and whatever, you know, like that's not, but like if they call you, you know, if they call that other person, they're not getting you. So, and everybody brings their own specific skill set, their own specific way of doing, you know, of organizing, of communicating with clients. And there's no way you can replicate that. So for me, there is no competition. And I mean, like before I moved,
amen, sister.
Yeah, there just isn't. There's plenty of room. And even if you are in a really small community, I mean, Atlanta is just massive. And, you know, so it's, you know, I realize that not everybody lives in a really big city. But even if you live in a smaller community, and you might only have like 1 or 2 or 3 other professional organizers, or you might be the first one and you might inspire other people to do the same thing. Nobody can copy you. You bring your own unique skill set. All of the jobs that you've ever had, all of the relationships that you've ever had, all of the books that you've read on organizing and time management, productivity and all of that. We all synthesize all of this information, and then we bring that to the table. And no 2 people are alike. So it's possible to copy or to really be in competition. Like, and before I was in this program, and I also moved in the last year, right before I joined the program, I lived in a neighborhood where there were 2 other professional organizers in my neighborhood. And I was
Wow.
like, no problem, because they're going to find their people and I'm going to find my people. It's as simple as that.
So true. So true. Okay. Here's my other question that I definitely wanted to ask. You know, we talked in the beginning, you said, you know, when you first deposited your very first check for $45, you cried because you got to do something you love. Tell me what it felt like this year, you know, meeting and exceeding some of the goals I know you'd had for your business for a long time, but just starting to get, you know, large checks written to you at one time, and then all of a sudden having like a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 month.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Would you ever imagine, like, 5 years ago that you would be in that place?
No. It is so funny to me now. It's like, you know, we all grow and evolve with whatever it is that we're doing. When we get better at things, and we don't always stop and look back, right? Because we're just always doing the next thing that's in front of us. And I always feel like there's some problem to be solved, or there's some insurmountable whatever that's in front of us. But it's so good to look back and to see, like, actually Lainey posted something in the group today about some cringeworthy thing that she had, like some sort of marketing something or other that she'd put together years ago at the beginning of her business. And she was just sort of giggling at, you know, the way that it looked and the wording or whatever it was. But we all have to start somewhere. And and there's, you know, and I totally, I'm on my 4th or 5th version of my website. Yeah, fourth version of it. And I'm like, oh, please, nobody look this up, like the history of it, because it's just, But you got to start somewhere. And to be able to look at how far I've come as a person by what is my norm in my bank account, the way that I live my life now, it's just, in the last 5 years, it's just crazy how much it's changed. And really just the most dramatically shift has been since I joined and implemented the program. You know, that's the key to all of this, is like, you can't buy a program and expect that that's going to do anything. You have to do the work. And it feels really good to buy something. You know, our clients all know this, right? Like, they all want to just buy the thing.
Yeah.
It's like an aspirational thing.
Yeah.
But you actually have to carve out the time and be a serious student and show up and do the work. And when you do that, you will see huge strides in a very short period of time. But there's nobody else can do it for you. You can definitely get lots of support and help, but you're the one that actually has to do it. And I think, getting back to what you had said earlier about how active I am in the group, the way that I think about my own success is, I have to show up for myself. And showing up for myself means participating, putting myself out there, doing the work, doing the stuff I really, really don't want to do. and just kind of getting on with it, and committing to be a good student. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Tell me, I promise you I'd think of another question. You said you're committed to yourself. Tell me, and you mentioned earlier about your accountability buddy, how much do you love having at least one other person who you can just be like, here's like the details of what I'm supposed to do this week. Can you please just text me and call me and make sure that I'm myself to do the things? And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a follower of the Miracle Morning Buddy, like the accountability thing? Yes. So just talk a little bit about, a lot of women really thrive in that kind of support, you know?
Yeah. Again, you know, it's we don't have coworkers. We don't have a place to go hang out and around the water cooler and, you know, talk things through. We don't have conferences with ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
So when you're in business, it's really important to have accountability. It's really important to have somebody else looking over your shoulder going like, yeah, I know you think that's important, but is it?
Yeah.
Is it really important? You know, a little reality check there for you. And we all need that, because it's really easy to do the easy stuff and it's hard to do the hard stuff. And that's why we need to have accountability partners, why we need to have a group. So the accountability partner, I've had 2 accountability partners so far, and I just love them. It's so wonderful to connect with other people and to see other people in that have different markets, that have, there are different ages, you know, that have different life experience, different tracks for their business. You know, it's just really interesting because you're always learning from each other. And like, again, like what might come really easy to you might be really hard for your partner, and then vice versa is going to be true. So, you know, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that one thing, and they might be really good at it and might have some words of wisdom to help push us a little bit, you know, to have that nudge that we need to actually get the stuff done. So yeah, I think it's super, super important. It's good for our mental health. It's good for our business. It's probably good for our marriages.
That's right. Oh, it's gotta be, girl.
For relationships. You know
there's
what I mean?
A comment. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a comment in the chat from Allison Moon. She's another member of our group. She says, that's such a huge part of the beauty of this tribe. You are my coworkers. I seriously couldn't do this without all of you. I am often reminded that I'm not alone and inspired in so many ways. Yeah. And she, like you, found us, and we just, you know, we have really created this. It's like our own little, it's not like a sorority, but it's like even better than that. It's like your chosen place. Yeah. So Lisa, thank you so much for sharing all of this today. Like, it honestly means the world to me that you were willing to just kind of get on here and share some of your journey, because I know there are women probably all over the spectrum who are listening to this today, some that are totally new to the game and some that are looking for something new. And I will just say, I said this at the end of my chat with Lainey yesterday, I really feel like we, not just that we have some of the people, we are the group of people who I think are on like the leading edge of this industry. And like you said from the beginning, you were looking for people who were a little bit out of the box and willing to expand or push like some of the industry norms. So I am so proud. I'm so proud that you are a part of it, and that, you know, the people who are finding us, like, I want them to feel like they're there because they want to be. I mean, they don't have to be, and I know they do have other choices for where to learn things and where to get support. But I think we do have a really comprehensive thing happening. So Lisa, okay, with that said, I will leave. Of course, if anybody is watching this on the replay and has any more questions for me or Lisa about, you know, something we said today, or just want to even follow up with Lisa, I am sure she would be glad to answer any questions personally. You could probably just be easy to find you at your website, which is Clear Calm Space, or just on your Facebook page, shoot her a message. She'd be glad to give you some honest to goodness truth. All right. So I hope another thing that you guys have seen today with me and Lisa is that, very much like the vibe of our whole group, we are really fun. Like, we have so much fun and we laugh a lot, but like, we're also like really serious about what we're doing. And that's like, that makes me really happy. Cause like you, I wish I would have had this group when I first started. So somehow it all came back around.
And thank God for that.
Oh, I'm
so glad you did.
I'm grateful. I'm just happy. This has been the greatest experience for me. And I never would have done it, because I never would have put myself out there online, you know, way back when. So we're all growing together.
We are.
All right. Thank you all so much for being here today, that stayed on with us today. It was really awesome to see you, old friends and new friends. We were glad that you logged on today. And thank you again, Lisa, like a million times over. If you guys are looking for more details about the program, it's all on the Inspired Organizer website. It's www.inspiredorganizer.com. There's a special interest list just for IO, that's our abbreviation. Once you opt into that, we'll give you more details on how to enroll, and some of the other upcoming interviews and chats that we're doing this week and next week is going to be really, really cool, because all these women have really unique perspectives and business stories, and they were gracious enough to come on here to share. And because we want you to leave feeling inspired, whether or not you decide to join Inspired Organizer or not. So that was our mission today. And Lisa, thank you for helping me fulfill that for them.
Thank you, Jen.
All right.
Thank you.
I can't wait to give you a big hug in person soon. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope everybody else has a wonderful week as well. All right.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.